Come on, let them say ya. Come on, let them say ya. That in my business, you catching fever. Getting serious like empty river. Ain't no stopping by the river. And as we coming, we sweeping, we cutting, we moving all the way. Yeah. We coming, yeah. We be coming. As we coming, we sweeping, we coming. And then when we meet obstacles, we be coming. Yeah, you come man, yeah. We coming. We better be coming. When the year is been checking you again, cause you come out. We coming. We better be coming. We coming. We better. Come on, let them say ya. Come on, let them say ya. That in my business, you catching fever. Getting serious like empty river. Ain't no stopping by the river. And as we coming, we sweeping, we cutting, we moving all the way. Yeah. We coming, yeah. We better be coming. As we coming, we sweeping, we coming. And then when we meet obstacles, we better be coming. Yeah, you come man, yeah. We coming. We better be coming. When the year is been checking you again, cause you come out. We coming. We better be coming. We coming. We better.
Hello, and welcome to yet another edition of the program, The Bottom Line. And Paul and I will be here tonight. Paul, good evening. And today is the 15th day of April 2022. Am I right?
Absolutely. Today is the 15th, right? April 22. Yeah. Good evening, Linford. It's good to be here, as always, to be your Homo 7 to this platform. I'll say good evening to our listening audience and good afternoon to whatever our brothers and sisters are in this world. Welcome to Butterland. How is Norway, my brother?
Well, today the sun was amazingly bright, and that feeling of summer was with us today. And I was out and just about, and then I had a great time compared to weeks back. And how was yours?
Well, the thing is, today we had a very beautiful weather here in the UK. It's almost, it felt like summer today. People been enjoying themselves. I see a lot of people been cutting their grass. So all the mowers around the house could hear in the morning. People are waking up to a beautiful weather. That is typical European weather. Some people have barbecue today. So yes, and a lot of beer were going up and down, flowing in the stomach. So yes, it was a beautiful day.
Okay. Let's look at this picture on the screen. You see this picture, right?
Yeah.
This flyer. And it says there, Alexander B. Cummings, live in Hanover, Germany, July the 8th. Will be meet and greet. July 9th will be the fundraiser and dinner. And then I think July the 10th, which will be on a Sunday, will be a barbecue or something like that, and people will be leaving. this occasion, they say the real change, not another change, transforming Liberia through Cummings' presidency. Now, this occasion will be the first, to my knowledge, of any in recent time of any Liberian aspirant to the presidency coming to visit Europe, um, to talk to the Liberians, the diaspora Liberians in Europe. How do you look at this event? What do you think is actually going to do? I mean, in terms of the political awareness in Liberia. I mean, not only for the ANC, but the political awareness among Liberians in Europe. How do you think this program will play out?
I think it's the organizer of this program. Their intent is to get to know this person whose name has been all over the place in Liberia for the good reason, for the bad reason, and for no reason. For them to get to know this individual, and also for he to lay out his policy agenda for Liberia that he intends to lead. So people get to know him. It will be a first of its kind. And it also is a fundraiser for the campaign comes 2023. So yes, it will be a good occasion. So I was told that it will be like they'll have a symposium in the morning. He arrived, the first day is the meet and greet. The next day will be a proposed symposium where Liberians will gather to ask any question of Liberia, what they think and how they see him. Then before the mid-afternoon, they'll have, I think, football, a kickball and football game. Then he himself will participate in a football match against the All-Stars, ANC All-Stars, and then other folks in Germany. So it will be an interesting weekend. And
guess
I'm
what?
looking forward to that weekend as well.
I was in a football match last night, and it was like the ANC. Actually, I believe it was this program that I was dreaming of. And I was like in a company where Mr. Cummings was. And in that company, I found myself to be like the very youngest among the whole group. And then, I mean, they had other people. So I was always like the boy. I remember something was there. Mr. Cummings said, Linfa, pick that thing up. And I took it. And I was looking for a way to carry it. And another man, whose name I don't know. I don't even know him. He said, no, Saturday, sir. There was another man who said, no. Then the boy decided where to put it. And they were arguing, but I can't remember what I took. So it was something on the floor. So I think the program, and I woke up like in the morning, since there was no work today, I woke up a little bit late than I usually wake up. So I was like, was it a dream or was it a reality? But I think this program is going to succeed because Europeans, Liberians in Europe, it will be the first time that they will have a presidential candidate coming their way. And this will be the opportunity, like I said the last time, for people who have not seen Mr. Cummings, or people who have not heard him, or people who still doubt who this man is. And this will be your opportunity that you will come and see this man, ask your question, like Paul said. I mean, it will be an open event. Even if you can ask a question during the program, when we want to follow up, you can go and say, Mr. Cummings, me, I get one question I want to ask you. You know, we want to make it interactive where people can come and actually meet Mr. Cummings, greet Mr. Cummings. It will be my first time to see him, and you know, like others. So I think it's going to be the opportunity. This is one opportunity that we don't want to miss because a lot of time we don't have time to travel to Liberia during campaign time, and even if we do travel to Liberia and we're on the grounds there, and the political leaders whom we support, be it the George Weah, who most of the people who travel from here or from America to go to Africa for these events, they hardly had the opportunity to meet their presidential candidate because while on the ground there, it's already busy. I think, Paul, you've been sometimes you've been on the campaign ground, I mean, on the ground during campaign time, how these leaders are very busy. But when we have an event like this where the leader is coming to us, you know, I think it becomes the opportunity that we have to be with them instead of when they are on the ground and we go there. So like I said again, viewers, this will be your opportunity, especially those of us in Europe, to be able to meet Mr. Cummings and talk to him, asking our questions, express our concerns, and even make recommendations to him. And so, Paul, is there anything you'd like to add before we get going?
Well, I'll first of all, before I say anything, I want to say happy Easter to all the Christians out there. And this is the most biblical time in the Christianity life that they look forward to. So I'll say happy Easter. And to some of our brothers who now fasting for the Ramadan, to say, well, keep up the good work. And it's a big religious thing that we celebrating, and pretty soon we'll be celebrating the Ramadan, and also happy Easter to everyone. Yes, I will encourage people that live in Europe, especially nearby, to take a drive, take a holiday, the summer holiday, come to Germany and meet other people that are coming from other parts of the world, Liberians, to interact with them and meet new faces, new friends, and then meet Mr. Cummings and get to hear him. So you can be getting secondhand information. So I would say yes, it will be. I would encourage people to come to this program. It'll be great, and I'll be seeing some of the guys for the first time too, and we'll interact. So yes, based on that note, we can proceed.
Good. Let me just add my voice to the Easter thing. It almost slipped my mind. There is this question that I've always pondered, but I've never asked. I never asked any Christian. I've never asked any Christian leaders, that is, or Muslim leaders. Why I say that Ramadan and Easter, they almost in the same time. Is there any relationship between? Is there any relations? Not relationship. Is there any relations between uh, Ramadan and Christianity when it comes to this the time of the year? But whatever it is, we know today was the day that the Lord Jesus Christ was betrayed and he was placed on the cross, and in the next 2 days he will be raising from the dead and carrying the burden of the world on his shoulder. So we just like to say, thank God that we live to see this day and that we can have a savior. And today, Paul, we have a number of few things that we'll be talking about. First on the agenda for us this evening is this case against or between the ANC, quote unquote, Musa ability, taking the ALP, the UP, and the rest of the party that are now with the ANC to court on grounds that they are all members of the CPP. And in the CPP document, the framework document, there is this exit clause that says that if you actually indeed were a member or are a member of the CPP and you break away like these groups, the ALP, the Unity Party have done, you're free to go as individual member. But if you go and you got political interest, you cannot take the name of your party that is registered, that is affixed to that document. You cannot take that name with you and go and practice any political activities under that name. But you as an individual, you can go and say, well, I'm Eluna, or you can form another group not carrying a name that is attached or that is affixed to that document in the CPP to do any political activities. And so Musa Ability has taken the Liberty Party, not the Liberty Party, the ALP, and the Unity Party to court on grounds that they cannot practice any political activities under the names of those parties. And the case is in court, and the NEC recently ruled out. Okay, but the Justice Minister, Councillor Musa Dean, has been in the papers, on the radio, everywhere, quoting the laws, specifically from Chapter 17 of the Liberian Constitution, where he says that any group or any individual has the right to freely associate and disassociate. That is, you can decide to be part of it. You can also decide not to be part of it. And so that kind of undermines the law that should be holding all members of the CPP together. That if you leave, you can leave as individual, but do not do political activities with the name that you register with. And the United Party has been fighting against this. But Paul, so what do you see here? What do you see playing here? It said that this law that the Constitution of Liberia oversees every other laws will take ground, will hold grounds, and undermine this document that was duly signed, notarized by the same Liberian government under the Constitution as well, and presented to the NEC.
Linford, the situation in Liberia is just a shameful situation, I may say. What am I saying this? The very Musa Dean that now quoting what in the law is a very Musa Dean that have never said anything about this Boakai case against Alexander Cummings. Why can he now quote the law there and say, well, what Serena Seaford is doing on him is not the law? Why can he quote the law? Why is it when it suits you, then you quote the law? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The framework document clearly said you can disassociate. That means you can leave at any time you want to leave. But when you leave, your party will not feel a candidate. They notarized that and was submitted to NEC. So from my layman standing, not using the law, although the law can be different, from my understanding, that if you notarize something, it is binding, it becomes law. NEC accepted that, and those four-party failed candidates into the 2020 by senatorial election and won a lot of seats.
Mm-hmm.
So why then they didn't quote the Constitution of Liberia? Now, when some people are very power greedy, decide to leave, then the Constitution Article 17 come into place. You see? So while the Constitution cannot come into place that somebody was taken to court and that person was asked to produce evidence on themselves, where is the Musa Dean that cannot even quote that? What part of the law said that you must produce evidence on yourself? So Musa Dean have not said anything. Serena Seaford have overshadowed him for the past 4 years. There are a lot of murder cases in Liberia that Musa Ability have not said something. He was pressured the other day to have a press conference. There are a lot of people have been missing under his watch. He have not said a thing. So why? Because he's friendly with people within the Unity Party. Now he coming out to court law. It's just complete nonsensical. That's how I see Musa Dean. And Darren Dillon said something once that these people, they are spineless people. Musa Dean is one of them. And that's how I see it. I don't know what's your take on this.
Okay, yeah, that brings me, this law, this Article 17 that they are quoting, that there is no law greater than it, that even if I sign a law, an agreement between you and I, and we take it to the federal government and notarize it, and one of us break the law, the same law that we sign, is not binding, according to them. But I think if we apply this to marriage, why is it that marriage is between two people, two separate people that become one couple when they get married, right? And when you marry, you sign that paper. You sign that paper. in the presence of government and it's recognized. So if one person decides to leave the marriage, what happens? Do you just go and say, well, I'm walking away, and they say, okay, yeah, walk away, no consequence? Because I've not been divorced before, but I know that when people divorce, if one of them divorce, because marriage involves a lot of money and a lot of expensive things. So if one person divorces in a marriage, I think that person should have some consequence. I think normally, if it is a man, probably he's made to restitute some. I don't know, because I have not been married before, and I don't know that part. But if this or Article 17 holds ground, so it means that you can get married in front of the government, approved by the government, your certificate notarized by the government, and one day you walk or you say, I'm going. When they ask you, you say, nothing can hold me. So is that what you're trying to say? Does Article 17 also apply in that case?
Well, that's Musa Dean. That's what he's saying. So he actually trying to so that means he trying to favor the other side of it, because why? He got friends there, and that favoritism comes with the other side of the coins is now threatening the peace of Liberia. So whether that's the reason why he coming up with it to quote that law. So then if he quoted Article 17, then now they need to look at those who want a seat. Are they going to call them to vote that? Wait a minute. Since we don't accept the people going a separate way, is there any question for those people too as well? Because it was one institution that bound them together. So people who want a seat, they honor that institution.
Institution, right?
Yeah. So I give example like DeLong. DeLong is CPP. That's where he represents the Liberian people for Montserrado County. So if they disassociate, the other person said, no, we had an agreement, we hold together. You can go free. You're free to go. You can disassociate. But that thing that you sign, your party will not feel candidate until you leave the way you're supposed to leave. So I went on radio and say, oh, I'm not part of Live for Goa Association anymore. But I'm not notified that the association I'm leaving. And then to your surprise, you hold me joining another group and say, oh, I don't will leave for. You have all right to go after me and say, no, we had an agreement. You have to abide by the agreement. So if Musa Dean comes and tell the Liberian people, say, no, they people not have no right to abide by the agreement, then what sort of law he quoting? I don't know.
Yeah, let's apply to the same marriage again. Paul, yeah, I'm married to a woman, and this woman probably there is something that she doesn't agree with, and we have confusion. And then all of a sudden, I see her going to get married to another man. Okay, taking my wedding ring to go use it to get married to another man. You think I will just say that? Even if I don't want a woman, I'll say go there, because legally, the wedding ring, the wedding gown and things she carrying to go get married to a new man for me. That I'm using the ring and the gown as a sample, as to represent the names of these parties that they register with under the CPP. You see, so if they are going, like the document clearly states, you're free to go as individual. Okay, so it means that if this woman that I married, she wants to divorce, yes, she can go, but leave my wedding ring, leave my wedding gown. And in fact, don't even carry my last name in your new marriage. So because that's what's happening. So because that name is, that those are properties of the CPP for now. Those are properties. The names are properties of the CPP. So you individual, you're free to go. You can go and form whatever party with new name. No problem. But do not carry the names. So it's like the woman in the marriage, she said, okay, I don't want you again. But then she taking your wedding ring, your gown that you bought, your everything, and she carried to go get married to the new man. So I said, what? Because they said this is a constitution. Musa Dean is quoting the constitution. So if the constitution does not provide any penalties, that if you sign a document or you sign any agreement, you can break an agreement and go by your way and nothing will happen, then so be it. But I think it's going to be a long legal haul. This is not going to just end here. And like somebody said somewhere today on Facebook, the opinion of Mr. Dean his showcase of legal awareness and legal, what can I say? His showcase of legal proficiency does not represent the decision of the Supreme Court. So Musa Dean can go on quoting all the laws that you know. And let's look at one thing. The Unity Party have clearly threatened the state over the last few weeks that if they are denied, they will declare war, they will do this, they will do that, they will make a country unsafe, they will bring war and all this kind of thing. And I would have thought that Musa Dean, as the Justice Minister, will be citing people from the Unity Party to come to defend their threat, but rather he will be ruling in their favor. Because the reason I'm saying this is that we've heard the Justice Ministry calling in people for questioning for statements that they made. Yaka Kolva is a sample. They have called in Yaka Kolva several times. Police have moved on to him to arrest him for using some words. So, but Musa Dean is comfortable with these threats coming from prominent people within the society, people who can say do this and it happened. Joe Boakai is not a small boy in the society. Joe Boakai got command. He's been vice president before, okay? And he said, if this thing happens, will destabilize the country. That's a serious threat. That's a threat that should be considered by the Liberian government. But Musa Dean takes that very lightly and rather go and start to quote law that is even questionable. So I don't know, Paul. I don't know if you think that these threats are just normal, that we can live with it.
Well, in Liberia, under the Weah-led government, they have the thing they call selective justice.
Mm-hmm.
What have been practiced. So Musa Dean, if you remember, Minipaka Demoy wrote something on Facebook about 2 years ago or 3 years ago that was 2 years ago in the midst of the coronavirus, when he said we do not want rest, well, I prefer AK-47. He was arrested. Was that threatening the peace of the nation? Now, the one who make a threat, who have with the party that led the country for 12 years, coming up with such threat, and then Musa Dean have nothing to say but to say, oh no, this guy, Unity Party, they quoting the constitution of, the law now, by quoting the law, that means you're siding with them, because what happened, you get another person in court that have nothing to do, that you ask him to present evidence against himself. You don't quote the law there because you want to pick somebody that will run against the person you support, so you keep the other one in court. That being selective. So now what Musa Dean applying here is we want to choose who we can run against. So this guy will leave the CPP at all costs so we can run against him and beat him, because that's the message they're putting out there. So we'll see what this, if the other party is not happy, they will take this to the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court can interpret the law better for Liberians, we'll get to see.
Well, but I think the Liberian people, not only people from the ANC, but the Liberian people should be concerned about these threats. Because the reason I'm saying it, let me tell you, Liberia came from war. And war is something that leaves indelible prints on the minds of people, especially people who took part in the war. War is not anything small. No, there were 3 groups of people that were in the war. The people who physically took part in the war, the people who the war affected, and people who both took part in the war and they were also affected by the war. There are some people who were affected by the war, they didn't take part, but some people took part in the war and then it also affected them. So these people, they got some prints left on their minds from the war. So if a government that was in power for 12 years, now this government was connected to outside governments. They had the security of the state in their hands, okay? They would reach out to any country to buy weapons, to make negotiations for weapons and other stuff, okay? I mean, they didn't have to explain it to the Liberian people because they are government. They were charged with the responsibility of protecting the state. So they could go and make contact with some countries in the world and say, "Look, listen, we need some arms because we are government. We need to protect ourselves." And nobody knows. Okay, so the Unity Party is not just one of the parties from the side. This is a party that was well grounded for 12 years. They were in power. They had the ability to contact other countries in the world to supply them weapons and other things. And even if they didn't get those weapons, but they still got contact. They can make things happen. And for them to come out and throw open challenge to the country, and they didn't throw anything at ANC to say, okay, if ANC try this thing, we'll go after it. They said if the NEC, and what is the NEC? The NEC is the National Elections Commission, commissioned by the government, put into place by the government. So if you threaten one of the arms, is the government is like an octopus. Government got several branches. Okay, so if you look at one of the branches of the government or one of the wings or the arms of the government, and you throw threat at it, whom are you throwing threat at? So if you look at one of the tentacles of the octopus and you want to cut it off, you are directly affecting the octopus itself. So if you can threaten NEC, that if NEC tries anything that will not be in your favor, you make a country unstable, you cause chaos. So I think the government should be taking these things very seriously. But now, Cornelia Krura Tuwa, because she's one of those people who posted such threats, she should be questioned. Ambassador Joseph Boakai, Vice President. And like I said, these are not just ordinary members of the party. I mean, it could be any Tom, Dick, and Harry from the Unity Party saying this. People will say, "Oh yeah, I mean, these are the drunk, the love drunk, supporters." But these are prominent people who can make decisions in the party. People who can say today the party is not going to participate in the election, it will not. Okay, and these are people making such threats. So for the Justice Ministry or minister to be so comfortable, so relaxed, and not paying attention to such threat, and we Liberian, we are so good for this. We say that when things are happening, we like, no man, don't worry, nothing will happen. 1990 war was coming. People say, oh, the war will not reach anywhere. They're walking as far as Banga. People say, oh, do my people, man, they will not even reach to Kagata. If you know Kagata, they say, man, nothing happening. It hit Moreo. Pinsway, people who are in Central Town, they say, oh man, just time Pinsway. So these are Liberians. We so dead in our minds. We so dead in our feelings that we don't take anything serious until we begin to feel the pinch. Okay, so for me, like I said, I think that the government should be taking this thing seriously, these threats seriously, because these threats are not coming from ordinary people within the Unity Party. It's coming from where? Real higher ups.
Well, the thing is, you're right, Linford, they need to take it very seriously. And you can't have the former ruling party making such threat. So they have weight and people listen to them. So why they couldn't threaten when they were denied the seat in Lofa County for about the seat that Bernie Summercard won? Why they didn't threaten when they had country devil and all coming out? So what happened here is the CPP document. You walk out of the collaboration, which you knew you read, you signed up to, that when you leave, you're not fee, the party will not fee Kennedy. Now, they walk out, and 2023 just around the corner down. The former vice president, under the framework that he signed, he may not contest on a Unity Party name. That means he may go independent because that's he and disassociate, he go on his name. But then when you go on your name, the party will not support you because the party is still member of the CPP. So all of these threats coming from him now because he know what's going to happen. He may not run. He will not run on a Unity Party ticket. So the fear factor is there. He's making threat, and the government should call him to book. But if the government is not siding with him, then we all know where is where this is heading, because the government have been accused that they in bed with Unity Party to stop one person from running so they can have a contest that they choose to run with. So I'm going into a beauty or a gentleman contest. And I don't want to contest with Linford Gwen, but I prefer contesting with somebody else. What does that? So Musa Dean is clearly saying this is what the intent is, and then they're going to go by that. And he quoting the law now, but all the things that have been happening, Musa Dean have not said a word. So if he can come out and say something now when people threaten. So I think Mr. Cummings too need to start threatening the country that if they can take the case off court, there will be war too. Then probably there's a set of language that Musa didn't like. So I will call the ANC to start threatening the government too. Because if you threaten the peace, then the government say, okay, we'll quote the Constitution. That's what they need to do. Unity Party clearly speaking violent language. So Musa Dean now, he's scared. He said, okay, Article 17 say this. So I think Mr. Cummings too should not threaten the government and threaten the peace of Liberia. Maybe they will drop the city case. And that's how I see it.
Well, as it stands, there is absolutely nothing we can say except to brainstorm and look at these activities critically. Because for me, I don't understand. I think what the government should be rather telling the Unity Party is that, look, you guys should go back and solve your problems and come back. But you can't be the government and try to side with one. I mean, but the good thing here is that Musa Dean, the case is not with Musa Dean. Musa Dean has no authority, absolutely no authority over this case. It's the neck, and from the neck, if any aggrieved party wants to go further, I think they should go to the Supreme Court. So Musa is just showcasing what he knows. It's like, they got some dance competition somewhere, and then Paul actually plays a good dancer, and he goes there and dance. It doesn't mean that you will win. There are the judges will decide who will win. So Musa, silent Musa Dean, who has not said anything about murder cases going on, cases involving key government officials. I mean, I'm kind of confused here, because these guys, they are paid huge sum of money, okay, and they do not do their job. You are government responsible for keeping the peace, responsible for bringing justice. You said that they kill government officials. The people didn't die in their sleep. They didn't get drowned. They die mysterious death that anybody, that even the ordinary people who do not have responsibility are fighting to find what led to that death. But you, the government, you the justice minister, you said that so far I didn't hear Musa didn't say anything about these things, about these deaths. 4 auditors. I mean, these are key people in the government. They're not just one sweeper. They're not just one office boss. And again, here we go. There are 3 grown-up men, not sick, no headache. They just lost. And they didn't go walking in a bush and get missing. They were in contact with somebody. Somebody took them somewhere and they got missing and nothing happened. So, but again, like I said, there is nothing absolutely Musa Dean can do about this case. He can quote all of the laws. The case lies with NEC. And I think NEC should test the waters. Let NEC give that ruling. And let's see if the Unity Party people will take onto the street. And somebody said, if you're in a town and you think you are the only crazy person, but because you are not seeing other crazy people before, so you think, yeah, I'm the only crazy person. Let's see. I mean, you got 5 million people in Liberia, pretty close to. Okay, so let's see whether the Unity Party people know how to go and make violence in the street.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the thing is, what he's trying to do here, he wants to influence the decision that will be made from NEC. So that's what Musa Dean is speaking of. He just want to influence something. Oh, Musa Dean said remember, he is the Attorney General of the land. If he can speak, he speaks with wit. So he's trying to influence the decision of NEC. That's what he's trying to do. That look, we got somebody here who we see as a threat to this government. And that person, let's keep him cool. Let's do what we want to do to stop him from running. And then let's choose this guy who we think we can beat to run. That's just simple, clear-cut understanding language he's sending.
Yeah, but he's also setting a very dangerous precedence because
of course,
tomorrow, let's say they be successful in stopping Mr. Cummings, and then they go with Unity Party at the ballot box. Finally, they win Unity Party because that's what they're thinking. And Unity Party say, we'll take to the street, we're not agreeing to the election result. So which law will Musa Dean be quoting then? Because
yeah, so the law is the United Party were not happy, so they will use Article 1 of the Constitution, where say powers are inherent in the people.
Yeah.
So the people demonstrate that constitutional right.
Right.
Now you can't demonstrate your constitutional right under Musa Dean leadership. A group of people assemble now, they come and spirit them. Princess just got killed. Her parents not happy what's happening. They demonstrated, the government went and started beating them. So where's the Musa Dean? Why he can't quote the Constitution of Article 1 that people have the right to assemble? So this panel Musa Dean that don't say anything, that's what the kind of government, the kind of leadership we have in Liberia.
And until the rightful thing can happen, and which I know will happen one day, because we can't have a country like this. Sometimes it's difficult to say. When you talk, they say, "Oh, people inciting violence," but it can be. Some of these people, they need to taste their own medicine that they apply to other people. Until people like Musa Dean can be standing behind the bars at Sub Beach, where he will be fed in the morning with some dirty food that the guy other people children doing. Until Musa Dean can it's just difficult to say, because this is something that even the blind man will see, that things are happening and they cannot say anything. They do not do anything about it, but they will do like what you said, selective justice. Okay. I don't know if there's anything more you want to talk about this Musa Dean thing, because for me, what I see, as far as the case is concerned, Musa Dean is persona non grata for the fact that he's a non-entity to the entire case. He's Attorney General, but he's a non-entity. He doesn't play any part. He's immaterial. His decisions for me are immaterial to the entire case until NEC can bring up their ruling. And of course, if NEC bring up their ruling, NEC is not a Supreme Court, then now the case can go further to the Supreme Court. So there is still 50-50 chance for everybody for the Liberty, for the ANC and the Liberty Party and also the Unity Party. So where the case is, it's just at the middle. Okay, they are not going anywhere.
Linford, I don't know why Unity Party is not crying wolf here. This is the party that said it have 400,000 supporters that were locked up in Vice President Joseph Boakai Bank, that it was locked and sealed. So if you have that number, why are you crying wolf here? So you sign an agreement with a group of people and you decide to walk, or the agreement hold you. You're not going. So you can still go and unlock the vote that have the vote that have the 400,000 people. They will still vote for you. So
no,
why cry? Why
there
cry
is something. Well, you ask why are they crying wolf? let me tell you. Joseph Nyuma Boakai from Foya, as one person, he got one vote that he's entitled to. He can govern us up to 100, 200 people as individual, people who love him. Most of the Kisi and Bandit people will go after him. I'm saying this because, if you look at the names of people who are supporting Boakai, they all, some Moluba, Carson, all the kind of Loma names and Kisi Nitama, Fire, all the kind of names. I know, okay? Now, so Joseph Newman Boakai, as individual Joseph Newman Boakai, will be able to govern us up to 200, 250 people as his property, tribal property that he will go with. I love him. But the reason why they are crying wolf here, this is the answer to your question, is because Boakai is under the canopy of the Unity Party that Edward Bian Kessely built many, many years ago. And it's just a shame that Unity Party then will still be dragging around here. And if not for Ellen was the one that first lifted Unity Party. If not for Ellen, Edward Bian Kessely founded this party in the 80s, or maybe I don't know, in the late 70s. Okay? Now, when did they come to power? 2005. Okay? 2005. And under whose administration? Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the political elite of Liberia, one of the political elites. So, Unity Party is just a framework. It's like you got this bottle, this empty bottle of whiskey. No whiskey inside, but I just empty bottle. So even if you put palm wine inside, it will still be whiskey bottle. But what inside there is palm wine. If you put king juice inside, it's whiskey bottle, but what's inside? King juice. So this frame, Unity Party is there. And Ellen Johnson came and filled that frame up. And the commodity that she put in there, it made people to go and buy this bottle. Now that this bottle is empty, that expensive commodity is not inside anymore. It comes back to the empty whiskey bottle. So Joseph Newman Boakai feels that he can only go inside that bottle to be able to govern as a vote. Or else he would have gone, if it was Joseph Newman Boakai who had the 450 people, he would have gone long time, like you said. He wouldn't be crying. They wouldn't be fighting around here. So leave this name, Unity Party, leave it in the CPP. If you got a number as individual, go out for something else, call it anything you want, and see whether you'll get your 450,000. Simple.
Linford, the thing here is simple though. The reason why I asked why they crying wolf, because their surrogates have been going around say this man have the number.
They don't know
him to be the most trustworthy person in Liberia, the most transparent person.
Don't even waste
wait a minute.
To believe people like this.
Whoa. That's the propaganda. Every pool they have in Liberia, Joseph Boakai win the pool. So my thing, if you keep winning, everybody know you. You don't have to worry. You don't have to cry. Just go alone because you have this number that you lack in a vault. You know the bank got a vault where they lack the gold and thing. So Joseph Boakai number, he lack people in that vault. So he can unleash them. So now stop crying wolf. Stop threatening the peace of Liberia. Get on the ballot box. And your 400,000 people will get you the second round or the first round. So why cry?
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying.
Again, let's go to my example or my analogy with the palm wine and a whiskey bottle. Hold your palm wine in a gold. You just come from tapping your palm wine in a gold. Then let me bring my whiskey, my branded whiskey, and we're selling it. People who can really afford and who know that quality is something that matters, they will go for my whiskey. But then my whiskey gets empty. Your palm wine is there. You take your palm wine, you put it in my empty whiskey bottle. At least people say, "Oh, let me taste that palm wine that looks like whiskey in a whiskey bottle." So you see, Joe Boakai as individual, like I said, this guy will be able to command few kissy and bunny people around him.
That's what you think. But the surrogate saying, no, you seen the palm one. The surrogate saying he have the best palm one. So let
him leave the Unity Party, because the Unity Party is it's a canopy under which he stands. So
yeah. So that's the reason why I asked the question, why they crying wolf, because he knows when he go alone, the party still remain under the CPP. And that's what it will hurt him. So he crying now. He made a big mistake. The most men who wise, intelligent, and all they classify him. He joined into something that he signed for, and he ran away from what we call competition. He does not want to confront anyone. He thought they were coronation for him by leaving. So it means just this man who want to lead us, he can't read and write before he sign his name to something. That's another question. You sign document that if you went to the bank and the bank tell you, say, look, XYZ, but then on the paper of that bank, there's a little print on there. If you don't read that print that they have there in black and white and you sign, then tomorrow when something happen, the bank say, look, this is where you sign up to. Because you sign up to this is the legal thing that will affect you. This man signed a document. He want to be president of a nation. So you telling me he can't read before signing something? Is that how he going to govern? You sign up to something, you got to abide by what you signed to. So he didn't abide by what he signed to. He's now running away. It caught up with him. He's now crying wolf. So why cry wolf? And you get 500,000 votes in the vote. So he shouldn't cry. And Musa Dean shouldn't come to his rescue and make matter worse.
Okay, but Paul, let me ask you right here. Let me ask you: are you surprised at all that this woman is crying wolf? Are you surprised? Now, the first thing, when they brought out all these accusations and all the things, they started making their own suggestions that they thought would be the way out. Nobody of ANC did not object to any of it. They said, let's go for what? Don't know that you read some tape. Right here, we got it. He said the only process, through which they can select the head of the CPP was what? Primary.
Yeah.
He, Bernard Ure, cannot accept anything other than primary. Time for the primary came. They look at our own spirit, like we can say in Liberia, they check. They say, oh, the primary coming will buy all the people. As if they don't trust that. And just in itself was an insult to their members that they so trust. The 450,000 people plus, depending on your people, that you will look at your delegates and say that Cummings will buy all of them. So you don't trust them? This was insult to them, to their delegates. One. Then they say, oh no, the same people who said I'm the primary, through primary, they can select the head of the CPP. They say, no, let's do black voting. Because Cummings finished buying almost all the delegates in advance. Black voting, ANC did not object to it. But what happened? It died natural death. It left in the sleep. Then, all of a sudden, the next thing that happened was signature fraud. So, you see, these people, even if you give them the next 5 years to get prepared for elections, they'll always find something else. So, it means that they really do not have the capacity, they really do not have that strength, that membership strength, or the political strength to be able to look, move George Weah for any election. Put Joe Boakai and Cummings down. It will be a flat win for the ANC for now. Because Joe Boakai has outlived his usefulness politically. Okay? He worked for over 40 years in government. He claimed the highest office in government, the second highest in government. He had done his part. What more? Why he didn't do? Why it was raining, you didn't catch water when it's due before you want to catch water? What you want to do that he didn't do? And this old man, something that can really upset me about him is he thinks he's smarter than all the Liberian people. Even as young as some of all are than him, he cannot outsmart all of us. That he will tell us he's serving the government of 12 years as second key person, playing dual role. One, as president of the Senate, two, as first president. So he was both in the executive and the legislature. So he had complete oversight in the government, okay? How government functions. So this woman will come and sell the funny story to us that, our old car park for 12 years. That means he was not functional. Okay, let's look at it two ways. Poor children will not go buy one expensive car and kind of park it in your garage, then he'd be riding bicycle to work all the time. No. Then why did he buy that car? Something must be wrong with that car that Paul does not want to, for which Paul does not want to use it for. Now, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf would not have left all of the political gurus in Liberia and go take Joseph Boakai as running mate and they win election, 2 different terms, okay? And she knows that you are functional, you helping her to run the government effectively, you're making sound decisions, you're not sleeping in meetings, and then she pack and we would not have done that. But then the old man comes out, he try after they have desperately failed, then he comes out after elections, or before elections, then he want to clean his hand, wash his hand. Say, me, all the bad thing that happened in the government, my hand is out. I will park in the garage, our innocent Joe Boakai, I will just clean. Can you imagine? So who's going to buy that? I'm sure poor children will not buy that.
No, Linford, don't make me laugh. The reason why I'm laughing is just crazy. The surrogates they know how to sell him. They really know how to sell him.
Yeah.
This man and Charles Walker Bronski, the late Charles Walker Bronski, there's a YouTube video out there that he summarized the old man. That many people need to really listen to his video. That this guy was getting $8 million for things that he did with no accountability. The very clean man, he talked about the guy who is very transparent. This man was getting money for the group of 72nd people, the disabled people.
Yeah.
There's no accountability. His office was getting $2 million on the budget every year. No accountability. But he is the man that none is carrying. And if you follow his track record, it not seem to be anything good. Now you talk about Benedict Urey that said he Cummings were buying all of these for reason why they didn't want to go to any kind of how they call it primary. But Benedict Urey isn't that classified one of the richest Liberian men. Why he couldn't buy people too? So it's all joke. You are the richest Liberian. If you go on Wikipedia now, you put Liberia richest people, Benedict Urey will top the list. The richest Liberia up to now. So why he can use the money to buy vote and he's supporting this guy? You see? That what made me laugh when he said it. So they are just, I don't know. So they should stop crying wolf and face the music. And that's how I see it. You are the richest man, you're taking somebody to court because
let's not waste our time. Let's move to our second topic. As we speak, President George Manuel Weah is dedicating his Invincible Park. And it's a big program, as we understand, a big world program. And one of the highlights of this, or one of the most important thing about this program is that the president has invited foreign friends, former football players, to this auspicious occasion. They will be there to bless the occasion, and they will be there to see the glamour and pageantry. They will be there to see how George Weah is developing his country with with less than 2 kilometers square of area that is called the Invincible Park. But the interesting thing is that George Weah played for the Invincible 11, he also played just briefly for Barrow, and he played for, I think, Bond Range, and all these people. But among the people who were invited by the president to this occasion, I don't hear the names of Sapa Myers. I don't hear the names of Kajabo. I don't hear the names of Piwu Bestman. I don't hear the names of Salinsa Diba right there in Montreal. I don't know what Generator Subway will be there, sir. So why did he leave his close friends, teammates, and bringing in Eto and all the other guys?
Well, the thing is, I'll look at it the other way. I mean, he done a good thing to build a park, which is good for.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I will give that to him. He should have done this long before even becoming president. Because according to the story, he had $85 million when Samuel Etos and others that he invited today, when they were in that role, they built a lot of sports economy for their people in their various community, even added by you. So the other thing with this, you live in Norway, I live in the UK. When the local government build park for the community, do they invite other big superstars to come and see the little thing they done? Nigerian, he inviting a JJ Okacha and others. For Christ's sake, it's not like he built a stadium or new stadium that he bringing these people. That's just a park for a playground. Is that what it means? That waste of resources right there. It's the government money that he used to be, because according to his minister with our portfolio, Tricon Kui, he said there was $2 million given for that project, and we are used 60% of his money. 60% of what his money? Government money. So you use the country money, you build something for the people, then you taking the same country money to invite other people and put them in five-star hotel. How many of those people? Mama Musa didn't stay around. Sakpa Maya didn't stay around. I play on a very football page. The Opata, Lawrence, and all these people, why are they? Why he couldn't? Patrick Sa, they stay around. Why he couldn't bring them and say, oh, this is what I've done for IE? You see what I mean? So why waste the country money? That money he took to invite people. There's no paracetamol in JFK. And that's the problem I have with that. So what become of the 14 counties? Everything is Morovia, right? So I listened to his interview lately, last week, about he won a battle though because that's the fee that gave him the opportunity. So he put something there. Great. But there's a child in River G that as good as Messi, but he doesn't have access to things like that. Why he can't do it in all of those counties? Being a sports person, that's how he broke through, that's how he made his name. So I think it's long overdue on his part. If he haven't done anything, this is what he should have done from day one, to say, well, if I can't do nothing, sports made me, so sports is the way forward for all the Liberians to be like me. But you can't come to a campaign time, you say that again.
If we look at his failures in the area of sport, that's just one aspect you name me. Nobody in their sound mind would believe that the title that we are won, maybe I don't know, in football history, I've not heard it. Okay, and it's not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah,
people win Africa's best several times in a row, no problem.
Yeah.
People win world best several times in a row, Messi, no problem. People win Euro best several times in a row, no problem. But to win Africa's best, Euro's best, and world best the same year, I mean, that's something that will not happen in the next 200-300 years. I don't think it's not easy, because I think FIFA will look at it. It's not possible for it to just happen easily. Okay? It's not going to happen easily, given the caliber of players now that we are producing. You know, people always talking about Pelé, the best player. You put Pelé on the football field with Messi, then Pelé was playing with Messi, then you're not even touch football. Because I think what Pelé then used to play that differently. But, I mean, that was his days. And Chovia won these titles in his days. So nobody can take it from him. But I can assure you, Paul, that FIFA or the world football governing body will never look at that thing to happen anymore. They will rather share it. They can't let one person win all 1 year. It's not possible. It will not. Trust me. You and myself will not live to see it. But let's come down. That George Weah won all of these titles. That the country that George Weah comes from, Liberia. Let's forget about him building stadium, yeah? But the stadium, SKD that Joe built, that Weah used to come from Europe and can play on and go back. Why is it that the condition of that stadium will be dilapidated to the point where FIFA will ban it. I mean, is there anything more shameful than that, Paul?
Well, you see, what I said something about misplaced resources. This is what happened. So you send for all these people. Why you can't fix that stadium with all that
Yeah.
money? That is misplaced.
If
Misuse of
our
resources.
Ito, or all the guys that he invited, I was asking, but my man, why the FIFA? I just jokingly, let them ask him. Let one of them ask him,
You
why
know,
the FIFA ban
I
your
will
stadium?
tell you something. Yeah,
Uh,
when Weah became peace ambassador, when Eddie appointed him into that role, he had a football tournament in Liberia, and he invited JJ Okacha then as well. And JJ Okacha went to his house on the 9th Street and said, "Is that Weah house? This looks like my security board house in Nigeria."
yeah.
That was an embarrassing statement to Weah. So his presidency now, he built something. He monetized his house when he became president. Now he built something to invite a seeing JJ Okacha say, "Come and see now.
And see my house now.
See my house now and see what I've done for my people." But my question is, that's just a little park. That's just a little park. If you wanted to do something different, something big, so the SK Anthony Thomas Stadium that is there, that we all play on, that Anthony Thomas Stadium is almost like a team in the UK here called Fulham. Same stadium like that. It was transformed from 5,000 people to 38,000. So he have done something like that with some Anthony Thomas Stadium and invite people. I would say yes, but just to put a park or playground, man, for Christ's sake, everywhere you turn here in the UK, there's a little playground for people. You see kids play football, play basketball, do swing. Is that why you're inviting people to Liberia? There is a shameful time for Liberia, to be honest.
I live in a small city right now. We got pretty close to 3,000 people, and we have 3 parks here. One right behind my house, right here. I was there the evening with my kids. Then, at the school, at the junior high school here, they got modern park, modern playground. Where I mean, you walk in. If you walk in, they got a bowl. You walk in, Paul. This thing will write the certain place. It will write your name on the screen. You just stand all I like. It will write your name on the screen. How does this thing know? Because the program, the children names there. So I mean, these are things. For I'm telling you, and the children play some game. They run. They touch a light. When you touch a light, then something the color will change on the other side. You got to run between the 2 lights to touch the other one, and the color will change. If you touch it wrong time, the light will tell you no. It will count your hour, your minute. But the one I'm saying, this guy came from Holland to build that thing. The one I'm saying thinking about how to teach. Actually, I have not tried, but the students will try all the time. I mean, they stand that small light. You were 2 feet, then your name will appear on the screen. How? I try to find out. I'm still investigating. I'll try to find out to know. Can you imagine? So you build something. I don't know why all the guy in that park. Then you go call people to come see it. My people.
That's election just around the corner.
We in trouble.
Election around the corner, and our people in Liberia, they have not seen good thing. This is one of the things you should look at today. A lot of young people, the voting population in Liberia, 60% of the mean voter that youth between the age of 18 to 25, 30.
25, 26.
Yeah, that group, they have not seen things before. Even they live in darkness. I call it darkness. Wolves in darkness. The early see when it comes, it's like, oh, Christmas today. Because when it disappears, they don't see it for months. So they live in darkness. To see something like that, it would be like, wow, this guy is doing something. Because I spoke to somebody today in Liberia. Say, oh, although what we are doing, he's doing. Then I asked the person a question, say, okay, he built a park. But have you, when you did your school, you pay registration fee? I said, but when I went to school, we didn't pay registration fee. When they went, we bought uniform, and our parents bought our books, uniform and books, and went to school. So we didn't have to worry about that. They said, I said, but you, when I was sick, at your age, went to JFK, they gave us chloroquine, it was free for malaria. You able to go JFK and get free paracetamol? No. So what is different now, building that park, what is different that it brought to your life? The person sat by and said, yes. I said, so this 5 year he been offered any change? So in the eyes of the blind, this guy have done something great that they haven't seen before. So it's campaign, and you will use it as campaign that this guy is doing something well. It's almost like you have a big cake. Now, you cut the bigger triangle portion of that cake for yourself. Then you take slice the small bit and give it to the other people. Say, yeah, but this guy doing good. So the group in office now, they rake and then put small thing out and blind, say they fool the blinds. That's what they're doing. When Maggie bid up Mercy Leah for his mom when she passed away, how many of those children know? You see? So you come and post something that election time, so they'll put Chinese light somewhere and say, oh, the man doing well. So inviting superstar, remember this guy is our only celebrity we have. So he inviting people, those names for those children that they're playing into for their vote. It's like a big thing. Oh, JJ Okacha came to Liberia, Samuel Heto came to Liberia. It's the talking point. So that little park there, he really mean business. Yeah, he do it in the rest of the 14 counties. Then we know he really want to promote sports.
Yeah, but the aim of the guy is not to promote sports or to like you said, like you say, it's just for campaign thing. And right after the campaign, let's say if he wins, no more project until if you want to go a third term, then he'll come out again probably and renovate the SKD. You know, but you hit a nail on the head, Paul. I've always made this statement, and actually it's a quotation that if you keep somebody's face on the ground from the time of birth until probably they are 25, 30, 40, and you turn a guy for the first time and show him his car, you say, no, that's the ground. Because he doesn't know. He got no reference point. He's got no reference point. Right now, if somebody tell you to describe heaven, you just imagine, and you got no reference point. So anyway, because according to the description you get or your own imagination, heaven is supposed to be the place where no grass grows there. Just golden city. So your description will be in line with something that you see. But if you are being now, you can vividly distinguish between Liberia and anywhere in the UK. Why? Because you are seeing the two places you live. You are living in the two places, right? But here's a man who lived. Ask one guy from the UK, you live there, ask any guy to describe Liberia for you. The guy will say a different thing from what he knows. He will say,
yeah,
probably,
so Lifa, let me stop you right there. This guy that built a park today in Liberia, he lived in Cameroon. He lived in France.
Ivory Coast.
I just gave him where he now live. This guy was in Monrovia. He went to Yaoundé. He lived there. He went to Monaco. Then he moved to Paris. From Paris, he went to Milan. From Milan, he came to London. He went to Manchester. He lived there. And then he moved to Florida. The names are just called. All of these places have park, right? True sports. He conquered the war through sports. He was given a higher seat in Liberia. No one, apart from him, that you find coming closer to that title. No one. And if Liberia can produce somebody like him, the last person, if I check, that came closer to playing for a big team was Christopher Red that came to Arsenal. So why he could not use sports like what Desai, the Patrick Vieira, they all done today that you found Ghana in the World Cup, that you found Senegal is in the World Cup. What is this Liberia supposed that today this guy made up that since I didn't play the World Cup, but I made sure Liberia go to the World Cup. Samuel Doe was not a footballer, but Samuel Doe said one day Liberia will go to the World Cup. That had Joe, we had the Salisa, they all came up. It was true, Samuel Doe. So he in a higher seat. What is he doing for sports in particular? But then to just build a little park playground that they're going to fence that Liberia will not have access to. Tomorrow is just a flamboyant thing and bringing people in to just waste taxpayer money. That money they could have sent it to JFK or the health ministry that took a lot of money the few days for the delivery room not getting medicine. I think that's where the money should have been spent. Then waste time and bring people in and put in Royal Hotel, put in 5-star hotel fee there and just misuse the money. That's how I see it. It's complete waste of time.
Well, Liberians don't see it that way. Liberians will say, oh, man, the man is doing development. Look at the man build park. In fact, the people say, oh, the man build 47 units. The man develop Liberia at least. And then the same people who saying that, they are the people who will wake up hungry, walk the streets of Monrovia hungry, go back to bed hungry, and they living, there are about 10 people living in one small room. You can be walking outside, see them through the zinc hole. They didn't want to go outside and stand and tap and put a pantash around and say that bathroom, they stand there and shower. They didn't want 4 to 5, 10 people taking about 1 tower. You know, I mean, I'm not saying this to bring them down. We all did that.
Linford, you strike a point here. The 47 condominium that he built, right? So, I think there were 4 story or 6 story, if I can recall, because when I saw them, those story buildings, so you take those very people and put them in the building and build so many of them like that around the country. That we know, then we know this guy mean business. That was Tobo said from mat to mattress. Yeah. But you cannot build 47 condominium for yourself, you keep it. Then you went down and told some kind of makeshift building and put it all, say, oh, I'm trying to help the people take them from the scene house. No, then you mean the very place you're doing, why you can't build all kind of condominium around there? And he said he gave it free to them.
You see, the bar, the way we Liberians, we raise the bar to certain height that any frog, any rat, anything can hop over. You see? So again, Paul, can't you understand what I'm trying to say? The people got no point of reference. People they got nothing to compare with. So a guy who was born in the Zin house somewhere in West Point, okay, and the guy grew up in the Zin house, and he had lived there all his life. He had children. He married with a wife. They all lived there with their parents, and then somebody come and put blocks around. Even no window, and they tell you move from the Zin house, kind of black house. What do you think? Big transformation. The guy will say, oh yeah, the man have really helped me. Take for example, go in the interior port and go way somewhere, way in Maryland, way in the bush, and take one man, one farmer or one little boy who parent cannot afford, not even wear slipper before, bring him to Montreal and get back clothes for him and put him in a house where you can see electricity and things. What happened to him? He has reached his limit. So that's what the people do. The politicians will study us. The politicians in Liberia, they study us. They know our mentality and they treat us like that. It's very simple.
Yeah, but I'll hold you to that. The reason why I say I'll hold you, this guy, the vote he got, overwhelming support from the entire nation. You live in a Zin house. You live on mat. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You live on all of you eat bread from the street. You fishing over Do River. You live it. And we give you the higher seat for you to change it. Right? We give you the higher seat. Is that my internet? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you well.
Okay. we gave you the higher seat, and the higher seat we giving you for you to transform this country because you been there, you experience it. You're not from the elite class, so he cannot put some little thing somewhere and say, "Oh yeah, the people be happy with it." They gave you. That's why the people put you there. That's why they employ you. They gave you the money to do it.
Wait, let me hold you there too. Let me hold you there. So who you blame? The guy? You see, the guy is sensible. The guy know he was born way down there, West Point, somewhere in the ghetto or somewhere, I don't know. And he went through that. He came up. So when he had a chance to become president, what did he do? What did he build? 47 condominiums
for himself.
Very good. So he changed his own life. So the rest of the people, you can pull yourself by your bootstring.
So then that's come back to what I'm saying. You cannot play on the intelligence of the people because that's what he done.
So who you blame? The people not intelligent enough. The same people still going to go for even. Let's forget about the people. Let's forget about the people who benefited at these few horses. But how about the other people who still living in the same horses but still down for this man? Even if you say 110% that we can care for the man today,
this is where people have to be told because people now, I guess. The late princess mother today voted for him. That they all saw this, and all of these things will change those people's mind to go for him again. Some people have already made up their mind. They're not seeing anything better. Freetown people say, whether he did something that which is belated that he's doing now because his time is coming up. That's why they're doing it. Let's see. Come 2023 and see what the other message people will sell. Because that's how I see it. From day one, if he wanted to do it, the time he was taking a build 47 condominium for himself, that 47, right? That 47 could have built parks all around the 15 counties easily from day one.
What?
That's what you do.
Well, that's what a leader is supposed to do.
Exactly.
But again, you have a population of voters or people, the entire country, people who are very miracle, people who can be satisfied with small things, people who, when they're hungry, you cook food, you eat it, you get in the cross, they eat it, and the food for all of y'all, it will be for all of y'all. But because you get power, you eat all the food, you get in the cross, say, hey, thank you, Papa. They want Ali will eat small cross. So who you blame? The people have studied us. So we are not small boy. He's not stupid. The man went through the system like everybody else in Liberia. So he knows that all the people. Tell me, how many people will be benefited even right there on the airfield? I say nowhere else on the airfield.
But
why would the park benefit the people? How many times you can go to that park? Hungry men go to
the other thing here now, the power is not given to the people. It's given to the Invincible 11. That's their park. That's why he named it the Invincible Park. It's for RE. You see? So if it's just for RE, then why he didn't invite Kajabo, Patricia, Opata Lauren, the Mama Musa,
the former defense minister, I call Washington Blade.
The Washington Blade of these are all ex-footballers that reckon in the town there, especially those who play for RE. Like majority of them, they stay in the town there. The Robert Clark and all these people that supported him. The Zoka Weston and all the people that in the town that all these footballers, especially the RE footballers that stay around. He should have invited them and say, look, guys, this is what I've done for.
Yeah, but in fact, I would have thought that there will be a game, between Paro and I of yesteryears. We talk about the Kajabo, all the guys who are naming, You bring all of them together, the Diva, the Jonathan Sebwe, the Kevin Sebwe, all of you can let the old Paro and I player. You're just kind of sweat,
Precisely.
Yeah, that would have been less sense than to go and invite. Because Eto then can I relate to anything there? I mean, what?
No.
Eto
then go on vacation.
Yeah.
There were free tickets given to them. They put them in 5-star hotel. They fed them good. They fly them back. So that money with all those people that he invited, think about this thing carefully. If that amount that they used to invite these people, I know it will come out to $500,000. There are a lot of medicine for JFK. To be honest, it's complete waste of resources. That how I see it. So if he really mean well now, let he do the same park in the remaining 14 counties. Then we know he's serious. It can't just be one place.
Okay. Liberian people, open your eyes. Liberian people, open your eyes. Let's move on to our final talking point here for the day. Now, there's a case against Mr. Alexander B. Cummings filed by Bernard Ure, who is fronting for the rest of the other parties that left the CPP, namely Unity Party and the ALP that Ure himself heads. Now, this case has been in court for over 2 months, 3 months, and no Liberian man will say, no hair, no tail. And every day there is some drama unfolding in the case. But right now we understand that the wise man, right?
Yeah.
The wise man will be going to testify against Mr. Cummings in this case. Paul, I want you to play for a moment right now. I want you to play the role of the wise man. If you were to play the role of the wise man, what would you say Mr. Cummings did and did not do?
The first thing is, I wouldn't play the role of the wise man, because if I play the role of the wise man, Cummings will be he'll be out of court. The wise man of Cummings were friends for 40 plus years to start with. And the wise man knows that he does not have any evidence against Mr. Cummings. So the wise man going to court that been forced on him, he's now going to tell the Liberian people, saying he's wise and he's the most transparent person in the land that his surrogates are saying. He must go and say the right thing. That although I held the CPP for only 2 weeks and failed the Liberian people, the man did nothing, so you let him go. That's what the wise men need to do. You see, because the wise men want to run, the wise men afraid of competition, so the wise men will do what the wise men need to do. And that's how I see it.
But do you suspect that the wise man, since the wise man is one of the runaways from the CPP, you think he's going to just swallow his pride, bury his wisdom, and suppress his feeling, and say, well, I just got to do the unthinkable. I'll testify against Mr. Cummings, even though he didn't do anything wrong from my perspective as a wise man?
Well, the thing is, the wise man, first of all, he's a deacon in his church. So that's why I say the wise man need to do the honorable thing to be more wiser in the whole thing. Why they call it upon the wise man? Why is it the Bernard Ure who took Mr. Cummings to court cannot be the first person to take the stand? Why are they jumping over here and going for the wise man? So all along they have been saying these groups are in bed with the government. So they select who they carry. Send a wise man, get 400,000 people behind him. Wherever the wise man say, maybe the 400,000 people will buy into it. If the wise man, whether he honest enough, will know. Is the wise man, is a genuine wise man, we're going to know. Or is the wise man have been put under pressure by Bernard Ure, we're going to know. So yeah, the wise man appear, and I think Cummings' lawyer said they happy for that news and they're waiting to get him. So he will be cross-examined to the highest. So that wait and hear what the wise man got to say.
But somebody may be fearing, including me, that this wise man will swallow all his pride. This wise man will remove the wisdom jacket, and just be like anybody else and say, yes, Mr. Cummings, finger the document. Even though the wise man knows King Solomon is somewhere talking to him. No, wise man don't do that. Wise man don't do that. He said, no. Let me remove the wise man jacket and put it one side. Mr. Cummings, Mr. Cummings actually finger the document. King Solomon said, no, don't do that. That's why I suspect. I fear that.
Well, the thing is due process they're going through, right? And you have lawyer that will cross-examine him, and he'll be able to tell the Liberian people where and how this man, when they use somebody's signature, he had to prove that. You can't just say, yes, you sign my name. He had to show where, because that's you have to prove the person on all reasonable doubt. So he now going to tell the country that, yes, Mr. Cummings signed this person name at this time, this minute, this second, at his house or at the party headquarters, because you got to prove the person guilty, right? So the wise man is the witness that saw Mr. Cummings sign this document, forcing somebody's signature, that the wise man saw that. So the wise man will have to prove to the court, yes, yeah, at this time, at this meeting, this date, in this house, Mr. Cummings had on white shirt, blue trousers when he was signing this, and he used black and white pen. So the wise man going to prove all that. Isn't that what they want to quote for? So let's watch and see what the wise man get evidence to prove, because he's a key witness in the thing.
Yeah, but this wise man, why didn't this wise man use the wisdom long time to, in fact, let that this case go anywhere? See, this is where the fear of many people lie, that this wise man will do the unthinkable. He has removed the wise man jacket a long time ago. I mean, he's just like any ordinary person now.
So when they cross-examined the wise man and they found out that the wise man lied, that means he will not run again.
Oh, but there no, and you see, then we'll go back. Then Musa Dean will come here again, because Musa Dean will say that there's nowhere in the constitution that says
that the shame will make wise man to move his hand from the wrist. Not Musa Dean now.
Mula one. The wise man already removed the jacket, so the wise man will not be seen. There's no more pride, nothing again.
Well, if the wise man will find out that the wise man lied, you know what's going to happen? This man, he's no longer a wise man. So if that wise thing move, that title move from behind him, he's not credible anymore. So he will say, you know what? Let me draw back. Maybe that's the situation a wise man facing.
Well, like you said, let's wait and hear from the cross-examination. Maybe the wise man. Well, you see, there is something, of all the whole legal system is not as powerful as what the conscience. Now, what people say, they get two voices or they get two hearts. No, everybody get one brain, everybody get one heart. But the conscience is there. The conscience talks to you. Say, do not do this. It's always that little soft, subtle voice. Boy, do not do this. It's not good. But we tend to overlook this voice. And that's the most powerful voice. And you know what? That's the most powerful judge in our life. Your conscience is the worst, the strongest, and the most powerful judge that you ever have. Have you experienced your conscience judging you before? Even though you try to overplay, but it still judges you.
And sometimes when that happens, you can go and have accident.
Seriously.
Let me look. I'll tell you something. When I'm going somewhere, right, and then I stump my right toe, I wouldn't go, because I'm not experiencing so many times when I stump my right toe.
Even if you wear shoes?
I say when I stump my toe, just go and then there's something bad going to happen.
I believe. That traditional belief.
No, that's something that have always happened to me. So it's not traditional belief. It just let me say, no, this going to happen, something going to happen, just turn around. So I've been friends with you for 50 years or 40 years. You did absolutely nothing to me. Then they brought me in to come and lie on you. You see, my conscience will be telling me, but why would I do this? He did nothing to me. I'm going to go lie on this person. Because when you lie on somebody, it can backfire.
You see, the same thing, I mean, it's good in April, the month of April. And when Judah was selling Jesus, the 30 pieces of silver were looking so glamorous and enough to him.
And then
at the end of the
what happened to
day,
him?
yeah, the conscience said, my man, the man you walk behind, the man you call my master, the man who fed you, the man who taught you, all the morals, that the man you betrayed, don't do that. The conscience.
Yeah. And what happened to Judah? And he committed suicide.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. So the wise man is going to court on Tuesday. The whole world will be watching the wise man. And the wise man also, he's a deacon in his church. He's a God-fearing person. So we watch to see what the wise man get to say, because the wise man going to tell us, this guy have been friend for 40 years. When we're in school, this guy used to behave like this before. It's something that he long been doing. The wise man going to give a whole encyclopedia on this man. The wise man going to break the ice. That the man was in school before, he used to sign the principal signature on our report card. So the wise man come and lay everything down. You see? So the wise man now, on Tuesday, everybody will be waiting to hear what's going to come out of the wise man trial. Will they make him the wise Solomon? We're going to see that. Will the wise man look in his friend eye and put knife in his neck? We're going to see that.
The wise man might say, well, God can forgive. So I'll commit the other suicide. I mean, the other sin here, God will forgive me. I'm a deacon.
Yeah, but that was when Judah left now, he sold Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. And he went somewhere and said, no, the silver, I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to take my life for being so wise. So we in April. There is to break and make the wise man presidency.
Well, you see, there is something, the old people say, shame can kill more than gun. In other words, that's why the thing that happened to Judas, right? If you become, shamefaced, if you become so shame, so shame of yourself for doing certain things, it can even kill you more than gun. So the wise man knows that from the onset, he should have intervened as a wise man and make this thing easy among the parties. Okay, and clearly so. If you look at the rank and file of the CPP, the people that make up the CPP, the leaders, he's the elderly man. He's a man that everybody should be listening to. But he failed to take control of the situation, especially so he being the one that is coming in now to take all the leadership of the CPP at the end of the day. He failed. So this same fail will follow him. Like, that's why I keep repeating. He will say, well, they want, I know, and I blunder a long time. So, and I come and go to court to go me myself, do the any good man. So, I will continue my pattern of blunder. At the end of the day, things will take care of itself. So, he might be taking that posture.
What I see here is desperation from the wise man. Before, the surrogate said Mr. Cummings was desperate. He was buying. He was doing this. They gave him all the names that you think about. But then we found out now today, the wise man, because he's so desperate, so desperation leads you to do all kind of things. So the wise man now going to testify on a court case that is bogus. The wise man going to do things ordinarily that he's going to do that way because he's so desperate to run. The wise man so desperate to be president. The wise man going to do anything that will cause him to put somebody on the bridge. The wise man will do all that. So this is what he's going to court for. So my question is, why is it the mean man I told Mr. Cummings to court cannot be the one that taking a stand so that the lawyers can and drill him and find out why he took this man to court? But they chose to go for the wise man first. So you think about it.
Well, probably they coming for the they're coming for the mean man, but before he can come, they want to hear from the bystanders, people who, because those are other people. Like, they say, before you take the real culprit to ask eyewitnesses. So maybe the wise man is eyewitness. So they want to build from on his wisdom before they go to the mean man.
Okay. So wait and see. So wait and see what happened on Tuesday and how he's going to proceed with this. Whether it's going to make him or break him, we'll see on Tuesday. Saying he's the first, he's the second witness now. So we're going to see, because I know Yumley is Lionel and Darren's Delon, all of them, they're going to testify. And we're going to see how even the Mo Ali that been going around lying, they're going to face the drama. But it's all delayed tactics, though. If you look at a king, it's all delayed tactics. That's what I'm saying. To the Cummings people, to be honest, if they start speaking the same language like Joseph Boakai is speaking to make Musa Dean to panic, Mr. Cummings need to speak that language. In Liberia, the people understand violent language, and you speak the language to the people. That's what he needs to do. Because Omer Boakai cannot threaten a peace, then Musa Dean come and back him. Then Mr. Cummings explains Mr. Nice. These guys, they were cabinet general and all was over there playing nice. And what the government did, they illegally removed him from power. They burned Samaka, the same thing that happened to him. It was political. That's why he was not certificated as.
Sometimes I question the sanctity, how sensible these unity party people are, especially the higher ups. You feed a Kennedy. This man won clean, point blank, clean. Brandon Samaka's victory was clean.
Yeah.
His opponents did not protest against him that he cheated the election or that the margin was so narrow it was difficult to decide the winner. The victory was clean, clear, clean, blank, that everybody could see. And you sat down there, the government brought up a case against the mayor that he used money. And in this case, Liberia is just interesting country. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and said yes and admitted, I authorized this man to use the money as ex-president. Now, nobody expect in that right man, but Bernie Samoka would have questioned Madam Sirleaf, why you want us to use the money? But he could not stop it. As a minister, we all know that the ministers are appointed by the president. They serve as his way and pleasure. Okay? They serve as whims and caprices. So you don't expect the minister to refuse, especially if he still want to maintain his job, to refuse what the president tells him. So Bernie had a right to take instructions from the president. And President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf came and admitted that I told the man to use the money. Bernie clearly did not take this money and use it on his project to build house or ride expensive cars or
Yeah.
You put Bernie in the race. Bernie won clearly. His opponent did not even content to say, okay, the election results were contentious. No. Then you sit down, the government bring the bogus case against the man, and you did not back the man. You as a party that feeded this man, you did not take the case to court. You let the man file a case on his own until the government overpowered him that he had to run away. Okay. Then you fight him to go fill another new candidate. It doesn't make sense. You born your child, the woman begin, you the husband, the woman begin pregnant for 9 months. You are born a child. One man can take a child away and carry it. Then it's okay. Let the man carry it. Yeah? I'm going born new child again. And you see the man carrying your child. He's standing there. Yeah, your wife crying. Say, don't let it carry the child. He said, let him carry it. We'll make new one again. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Therefore, that's the situation with the Unity Party, my brother. So, yeah, we'll wait and see.
Paul, our time is fast spent. We got the next 15 more minutes or so. I don't know if we can get review some of the newspapers, because there is normally there are things happening in Liberia. Sometimes they in the newspaper, but they don't count on, and people don't, emphasize some of these things. For instance, they say, okay, we've been talking about this one, where in the Heritage newspaper, they say in the Lufa County senatorial elections, United Party will not accept exclusion. Ambassador Boakai talking tough. Now, the same thing you are saying, that the United Party and not only lower people but higher up people will start threatening the country, the entire country, and that the Justice Minister, the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia, okay, will not even cite anybody from the United Party to come and defend their threat, to explain why they think that they will make a country unstable. But rather, he's there quoting laws from Article 17 of the Constitution. So I don't know what sense does that make. Where's the security? Okay? Where's the security? So I think Musa Dean should be thinking the other way around instead of and the hot pepper newspaper put it this way. It says Joseph Boakai threatens neck, stroke, we are government. I mean, former president, former vice president threatening or setting government. You think you can take that for life? You can take it for fun?
No. Serious. They can't. And that's why the government need to call him to book. But the fact is the government cannot call him because he's in bed with the government. And that's what I keep saying.
But why if they're in bed with the government, why then should he be threatening the government? Government?
Well, I think it could be some sort of strategy here used as well, because look at the whole scenario that is playing out here. Musa Dean comes up to defend him. Solicitor General comes up to threaten the VP. Said, "Oh, I'll let people been visiting him, blah blah blah. If he come to court and don't say the truth, there'll be a punishment." You see what I'm coming from?
Mm-hmm.
Giving the public another feedback, then get the other guy. So it's a game that being played with the people here. It's a complete strategy at the highest level. That's what they're doing here. You see, buying sympathy from neck to influence neck, and then using two different messages. They meant threatening a peace. So let's bring Mini Parker the more about to say AK-47 if the government don't go for him tomorrow. So you look at it. The guy is in bed with the government. If you're not in bed with the government now, they should have gone for him and say, "Whoa, come in for questioning. What do you mean?" So that's how I see it.
Okay, the last edition of the program here, we talk about the LACC, President Weah opting for prosecutorial power for the LACC. That is, the LACC should be empowered to be able to prosecute people that will find culpable. Now, the newspaper in its today's edition says that the LACC indicts several persons, probes corruption allegations. Now, so the question I asked the last time, probably you could get touch on it briefly again. Since now the LACC can indict people, how strong, how credible, how powerful, how effective would this new LACC power be? Because I'm afraid, I mean, the executive appointed these people, set up this commission. I agree it is a tenure position. I agree they should be independent. But, it's like, yes, I'm the father in the house. I get my own children. Then I turn around, I get foster children. Okay? So, even my own children and my foster children, they will all still do what? Oh, loyalty to me. So, my foster children would not want to expose me, even if I misbehave in the house, if I'm drunk, I lie down, I do all kind of things. My foster children, knowing that they're my foster children, they'll say protect me like my own children. So I'm still wondering how effective would this LACC be if given this power?
You know, Linford, here we go again with the LACC. What happening here is they're trying to have that witch hunt here. They're not picking on the big guns that take the big money. Let's make it very simple, Liberian English. They go for the little guy that is nobody, that the little guy will get. I can refer you back to the 1980s. We had this minister of finance, I think what, Alvin Jones.
Yeah, 1980, G. Alvin Jones, yes, I think so.
You remember he beat people on a pole for corruption in the 80s.
Yeah, tied on the pole and whipped them.
The people he whipped on a pole, they were those people that were doing RD cards. They're petty thieves, the Englishmen say, that the people he went for. But in that government, that was the most corrupt government, he could not go for the top guys. But they went for the petty people to say, oh, we show example that this is the same thing the LACC doing. That national port have issue with people that built Traore who had in the port. There was a whistleblower that came with big allegation. Why they can't go for Bill Traore? Why are they picking on the petty ones? The one with a big fish. They leave it and go for the one that catch a small bunny. You see what this? So when I look at this government sometimes, it just reminds me of the Samuel Doe government. Because the history keep repeating itself in different style. If you look at the whole system that is running, you remember Jikin Scar?
Yeah.
Jikin Scar is the Sarina Sea for today. So it's the history repeating itself. I mean, be honest. If you study Weah government and know the Samuel Doe government, it's the replicate of Samuel Doe government, this Weah government. Look at it, the style of leadership.
But then so can somebody rightfully suspect that most of the problem lies with the mindset of the people? Because here, let's go back. We had the Congo rule for over 100 and some more years before, 130 some more years before the so-called country boss took over. When the so-called country boss took over, the things that they did from the start, it still continues to another country boss rule. So it's the mindset of the people, irrespective of who they are. Because I mean, I believe if you brought by the Congo boss, it would be different scenario. Okay, and the country boss have been around here for a while, and it's the same scenario.
Well, this is a situation we face with, and I'll tell you something. The late Mystery from Bamboo, she was the music director, music teacher at the University of Liberia. She was well known, Mystery from Bamboos. Her son is just recently left Social Security. We were in London. That woman had a symposium here, and she educated us on something that many Liberians don't know. She said, look, in the first 50 years of the settlers, the American Liberia, in the first 50 years, majority of them died from malaria. Liberia is known for many years, the Green Coast, for mosquitoes and malaria. There were a lot of intermarriages took place when it came, the settlers. They had children by a lot of native women. So there is no true American Liberia. You may be carrying the name, you get some kind of mother behind who are native or blah, blah, blah. So now, before the 80s, there were intermarriages from the society. You see? So Paul Chilope married a Brown. That no more, you understand, that connection. So my children from the American Liberia, are they Congo now?
No.
So in reality, the whole thing has turned around. People use it in the 80s when you become educated, you know how to speak, you then classify a Congo, but your ninja balo. So there is no true American Liberia. It's all mixed blood. So if you give someone who is sensible, wise, or who learn and go to that sea will do better. Whether they have some little background from a native woman or American Liberian league, they are not true, they mix. That's the Liberia we're in. And today we have Liberians that have a lot of children from Nigerians and Ghanaians and Sierra Leone and Lebanese and you name it, Japanese. How we classify them? Are they Congo? No. That whole thing has been turned into something that is complete mixed people around today. So there is no true, say, one group of people, everybody into this together. So we should classify this as one Liberia. And people should stop seeing a thing here that, oh, this Concord, it's gone. Kapu, finish. That's how I see it.
Well, but you got what did you get? Or Johnson, Murray, or Brown? So it's a name that is the name that people go by.
My man, I'll tell you something.
You gotta go.
I'll tell you something. This is a Cholope that married a Brown, right? This is a Cholope that married a Brown. And the Brown bought children for Cholope. Those children are Cholope, although they get Brown connection. Let me give you the example.
No, but you give me an example. My question is, what if that Brown had married a Smith?
But that Smith, let me tell you something, because I know people for job business in Liberia, they were changing their Jakparo name to Smith to Johnson. So are they true? So you go back in time. There are a lot of people change their name to Jefferson. Some people change their name to Davidson.
I was a Melton, right? I was a Melton, right? Because the late Internal at the time was Secretary of State. The late Internal Affairs Minister or Secretary of State Minister Jack Samuel Melton was my foster father. So I was a Melton.
So you carried that name for many years.
Yeah. Now, if I go to Cornwall, all my childhood friends will call me Melton.
So I can tell you the chair people were called Chelsea. So when the cool king, he changed his name. So we have a lot of people like that. Look, I got friends here. They are Richard Henry kids, children in the UK here. But the mom sold bread and kueh and other things from Joba Market. So the whole thing is mixed. That's what I'm saying. So we should forget about the thing. Yes, or these people. The whole
thing but let's relate it to the way people govern. Since let's agree that we are mixed now. So which one of these mixtures is affecting our behavior? Is it the native mixture? I mean, is it the native part of us or the Congo part of us that is disturbing us, that makes us to always, repeat the same mistakes, do the same bad thing? Even if we grab people kill them for the same
it's the DNA of us. The DNA we just like stealing. I can give you an example. In this government today, we have the Brett who is advisor to Weah. We have the Archibald Bona who advisor to Weah. We have the Emmanuel Shaw who is advisor to Weah. What a good thing are coming out. So because we so mixed and it's embedded in us to steal, so the stealing continue until we find a rightful person. That's the answer to the question. So whoever you put there, look, Eddie Johnson was there a few years ago. And under Eddie administration, you have the names that you mentioned. They stole. So it's just in our DNA until we get the right person that said, no, enough is enough.
But where the right person will come from, because they will make sure they did now in everybody's DNA.
Well, this is where now some of us have looked other places and then see somebody called Alexander Cummings who coming in, and this is why I carry him. The reason being, he comes in that he's self-made. He want money. He can be in the Bahamas today and just chilling with his family, and he need money. But the fact is that he had put himself on a firing squad and said, no, this country must change. I don't need money. If you pay me, I will give the money to charity because I want this country to change. That means he's not there for the money. He's not there for the stealing. So people like that, we should look at people like that because they're not going to steal. You cannot take a broke person like me and say, oh, because I came with good rhetoric, you put me there the next day, now I start bidding condominium all over the place. We don't need. So let's go for people that have not been in the system, that have not stole anything in their life from that particular system. Let's give other people the opportunity to set the pace for the children that we're leaving behind. That's how I see it. That's the only kind of people that will come in to say, look, we're going to change the mindset, we're going to change the system. But not somebody like a cattle grader come from my own community, so do
we see finally, do we see things actually changing? Because take for example, you got 5 million people in Liberia, then you got one man like Alexander Cummings, who is proving to be a little bit exceptional from the rest of the people. Can that one man make change among 5 million people? Is it easy?
Yes, easy. Martin Luther and all of have shown it. Barack Obama and all of have shown it. One person can make a difference. One person can change a society. It has been proven. Nelson Mandela, one person can change a society. Andrea Gandhi, India, one person can change a society, and that philosophy people can go with it. You can show people that stealing is a bad thing, and people will live. So it depends how you govern. Now, therefore, when I am a BM, my association will be with people from the BM sector, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm a pastor, I will associate with other clergymen. Isn't that right? That's how we live. If you move in a suburban area and you left the project in America, they call it project. Here we call it council.
Mm-hmm.
If you left the council place and moved in a suburban area where you buy your own property, people that you meet in that suburban area, that people who have worked, they earn their hard living, they want to live a better life. So your association now with that people that have the same mindset as you. So giving Mr. Cummings the opportunity, the people that he associates himself with are people of his same caliber, not people that are going to steal people money. You understand? But if you took Prince Johnson and put him there, what you expect? So that's the kind of Liberia we should be thinking of. Not people that, oh, because this person here popular. The man was popular, he was there, he stole. Then you say, oh, because he popular, we know him, let's put him there for the sake of being there. I mean, that's how I see it. So give people the opportunity that deserve opportunity.
Thank you, Paul Trupe. It's been a wonderful time here on the program, the Bottom Line Liberia, and we cover a wide range of issues here, ranging from the dedication of the park by President Weah today, and failing to invite his own local players, former local players, teammates, and whatever, but rather chose to spend a lot of money to bring in foreigners, so to speak. And then we did talk about Joe Boakai going to testify against Mr. Cummings coming Thursday, though we don't know what he's going to say. But we wait to hear what he's going to say. In fact, as a matter of fact, the newspaper says that he's supposed to present some document. He's requested to present documents against Mr. Cummings. So let's see what he has put together to present. And we also did discuss the Justice Minister Musa Dean effort to be like trying to come to the defense of the Unity Party that have been threatening the peace in Liberia, threatening that if NEC rules otherwise in the case between they and the ANC or Musa Belete, they're going to make a country ungovernable. They're going to cause chaos. They're going to do that. But Musa Belete comes in instead of as Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia, instead of inviting the Unity Party people to defend their threat or explain otherwise, he's rather quoting laws to back their living from the CPP. And so we let us say thank you to our viewers, and we'll be here. Paul, is there anything coming up tomorrow, Saturday?
Well, tomorrow, no, we will not be on tomorrow, but we're scheduled for next week.
Okay.
So Saturday will be one of the days. And I think sis Dottie was trying to get on bottom line because she texted me saying she had problem connecting. So it's something that we'll have to look at the bottom line page because our viewer want to get on, they were not getting on. So I think what we need to do, I don't know when you'll be available, we can actually look at the page that is running because I got complaint text message now from her that she was trying to get on, she can't get on. So it's something that we need to look at.
Okay, yeah. And so coming Tuesday, if all goes well, we're making arrangement to have some discussions on the accelerator thing or the rejected deal. We may have a lawmaker from Nima County if all goes well. We're not promising you, but if all goes well, you're going to see the flyers up there, and we'll be bringing other people. And so, Paul, just before we go, I want you to throw light on this. You being the regional chairman of the ANC Global Europe chapter, I want you to throw light on this big event coming up in Europe.
Right. Okay. As you can see, the flyers up on the 8th and 9th of July. There will be ANC meet and greet. We will have Mr. Cummings in our midst for the first time. Or political aspirant for the highest seat will be in our midst in Germany, handover, and we'll ask Liberians to come to see Mr. Cummings and interact with him, asking all the difficult questions that they have regarding their beloved country, Liberia, how he intends to change Liberia, what he intends to do, the kind of Liberia he wants. That will be the opportunity for people to listen to him, and he will share his vision with them. And this guy has been put on the spotlight in Liberia for good reason, bad reason, and no reason. This is about the time that people get to meet him and see him. And I'll tell you, Linford, when this man came to London, we met him twice. Upon meeting him, we were amazed that the guy is down to earth. Could you imagine somebody with so much worth coming to the Liberian community? The man actually took the public transport and he was using Google Maps, walking to locate where we were. He could have gotten a cab, but very simple, down-to-earth person. So I encourage Liberians to come to Germany. Take your vacation in July. The children will be on holiday and come and see and interact with Mr. Cummings and the ANC. It will be a great, great event over there. A lot of people are coming from everywhere, so it will be exciting. This is exciting. It's a fundraiser. You come in. Liberia deserves a better leader now. For 175 years will be, where are we heading? In the next 25 years, Liberia will be 200 years old, officially. And today, nobody can even go to JFK and get free paracetamol when they are dying. You have to pay. And average Liberian can afford 50 cents before $1. So let's look at this guy. Let's see what he brings on the table and why is it the government and the opposition leader gain against him, fighting against him. Why? All of these questions, people can put it together and put it in front of him and see and find out how he's feeling, what he's going through by a Boakai case being put on him. So this is the time. So looking forward to July, and he will be there. He played football with all. He a good number 9, although he is not as skillful as George Weah. It's time for Liberia to meet him. Yeah. So on that
Okay.
note, I'll say thanks to our listeners, our viewers, and continue to follow us. Bottom line is still growing. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. And like Paul said, we expect Liberians to flock to hand over um, come July. And don't forget, mark that date. The 8th, 9th, and 10th of July. We'll be there and we'll be leaving on the 10th. For people who driving, we start driving. People who flying, we start going to the airport. And, but at least the 9th, the 8th and the 9th will be with Mr. Cummings face to face. And we can promise you that Bottom Line will be there live. And if you live in Australia, you cannot come. Bottom Line will be there live. And that's the time you can ask Mr. Cummings your questions face to face. And Bottom Line will do our best to actually bring you that event live. Well, thank you, Paul. And this is how we like to leave you guys this evening.